which I'm not. I've been here too long to be a troublemaker. I know, all the rules and all that. I've had a lot of equity contracts. But I think Gordon Davidson, for one, has always been suspicious of me.
He didn't like Kardashians.
Well, it's more of a personal thing. There's some people that you just have a natural antipathy toward, and I think he's had that for me. Even though I've done two things there, better than anyone else could have done it. I replaced actors. I went on and replaced them, and I was much better than these guys were. And I know that. I can say that. Nobody else has to say that.
Go
I
make
do.
it count. I have a funny story to tell about that. I've done a number of stuff in theater, and I did this play called Aristocrat by an Irish playwright, Brian Friedel, that was directed by a man named Robert Egan, who at the time was married to Kate Mulgrew, and Kate and I were playing husband and wife in the play. Okay, so they're now divorced. I get a call last week from Robert Egan asking me to direct a Brian Friedel play. And I tell him, no, I can't direct the play because I am directing a TV show with your ex-wife. Yeah, Elaine, right?
Thank you for remembering where I am. I know, like, the funds in each state kind of mentioned, like, there'll be something going on with Ducat there at the museum. How much advance notice do you get? Like, how far in advance do you know what the plot's going to be?
When you get at least me, when I get the script. They don't tell us anything.
Not all.
How well, would that be a week, 2 weeks, like,
Generally, no.
A week if we're lucky.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. Oh, yeah, I mean, the lead-in time, thank God we have a grasp of our characters. Because, I don't know, guest stars, and it happens to us when we guest star in other shows. The regulars, it's bad enough that the regulars get the script so advance notice, but when you're a guest star, you just get the whole ball of wax a few days in advance, the character and everything.
Yeah.
So you have to create right from, step one.
Okay, if we're starting this around the 20th, I heard this too, September 20th. I get back from Holland, I'm going to Holland for a convention from the 14th, 15th. So I'll get back about the 17th, which gives me, and I don't think I'll have a script before that. So I'm going to have to really crash for 3 days and try to get the script figured out. I'd much rather have a week or something, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Yeah, it's pretty. Well, when you know it, did you do soap opera? Did you ever do soap opera in New York?
Yeah,
In New
that was
York.
Ryan Socha.
Yeah. You could be doing a show for 5 days, and you get 5 scripts on a Friday night for next week, and you got 5 scripts to memorize. You might be in there, every other scene or whatever.
Soap opera is the hardest. The hardest.
If you don't cheat, it's the hardest.
I can never read those teleprompters.
Me neither.
I'm dyslexic or something.
Or I just didn't want to. I didn't do it.
But I couldn't. One time I tried to. I thought, okay, that's okay. And I held off looking at the teleprompter, because in case any of you don't know, they have teleprompters behind each camera.
Yeah.
So because, and especially when Mark said earlier, when we used to do shows, I mean, you couldn't stop. They were going right out to people. So it was live and hot and dangerous. So so they would have these teleprompters, so if you forgot a line, you would look at the teleprompter. Well, I never looked at the teleprompter, so one day I went up. I forgot the line completely, and I figured, okay, I'll look at the teleprompter, and the teleprompter, obviously, it's moving, and somehow reading moving words. I panicked. I'm looking at this teleprompter. And so then I just turned around and I started making up lines. I never looked at it again.
Well, people used to put their words on coffee cups, dishes,
And like
walls.
it's like the exams, those people who used to cheat, those men, not us. On their cups, on their hands.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Marlon Brando, the funniest story is Marlon Brando was notorious for not learning his lines. He's a very lazy actor. And I think Missouri Grace it was, he actually, and I don't know what this other actor was thinking about, but he actually this other actor that he was doing a scene with let Brando, because it was an over-the-shoulder onto Brando, so the other actor's back or something, he let the other actor tape Brando's lines on the guy's face. So the guy is standing there, you know, and Brando is reading his lines.
My name is Carla.
Hi,
You see the guide layout. Mark said to it, but you weren't in. I find that very interesting. That is supposed to be DS9 or Star Trek villain. So you get the label villain, and Garrick is not.
Interesting.
And yet, I would trust Garrick as far as I know.
Yeah, no, and you're right. But why? It's so great. The first time in my life, there's an article about villains, and I'm not in it. But you're right. I can trust you.
My objection is that we don't know enough about the Kardashian occupation to actually call them accountability. Sometimes people supposed to forgive the
Say that last part.
I'm really supposed to forgive the time for anything he does.
Thank you.
Look out, he preys on women like that.
What do you think about your viewpoint on
I never think of him as a villain. I guess it's because I've played a lot of villains in my career. I mean, real bad people. And I don't think Ducat is bad. I think he's an opportunist, which I am too, and you probably are too. We're all opportunists when it comes right down to it.
But I guess I was script
And I think Ducat's very shrewd, sort of, he can be a shrewd businessman. Takes the easiest, most convenient way oftentimes, which we all do that sometimes. But in terms of being intentionally mean, which I think underlies villainy, I don't think he is. I think he does what has to be done. And in combat, certainly, you know, in love and war, there are no rules.
Charles Manson thought he was a pragmatist too. Now, I don't know if I should break the news to Mark, but because I've been hanging around there directing him, and I've been following like a puppy dog, I've been running around these other directors, you know, like sort of like, you know, seeing how they do things, and shots and stuff. And so I hear this gossip, I hear stuff. And I don't know if I should tell.
We're going to play this little game.
I've heard that halfway through this season, I'm not kidding, that the Kardashians are going to be returning to their original villain. Yes. And they are really going to get very heavy. And and the entire Alpha Quadrant, I'm not kidding, I didn't hear this, that the entire Alpha Quadrant is going to turn upside down. And so so I don't know what that means for Golden Cotton and Garrick. I don't think it means that we're going to be, you know, like softened. That's right. I think they're really going to go for the gusto with us.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, there's a way of doing that. There's a way of walking the line without becoming one-dimensional.
Oh,
Which I never wanted to do.
with Ira Bear, I don't think we'll ever become that.
Good.
Gail. 5-minute warning. All right. Yes. You know, listen. I mean, if I don't know if I don't want to speak for Mark, but for myself, if you wanted to go longer with this, I'm fine with this. You know, because this is an intimate situation.
He's trying to leave us trying to our autograph.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Really. So, like, when you feel that we absolutely have to cut it, just come in and just tell us to shut up. And so, okay, there was you, and then there was somebody over there. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm Debbie.
Hi.
I just want to know if either of you ever go online or go into like the Garrett to the top board and ever read the stuff that we put on there.
Well, we did the interview together, you know that. That's the only time I've ever done it. I don't know.
No, she's talking about whether we've read our what do you call them? Home pages?
Oh. Well, sometimes Lana sends me from the newsletter and all that. She'll send me stuff. Yeah. And I see the women of what's it called? Women of Golf? Cots women. Cots women. Social club. Call it whatever you like. It all comes down to the same thing. So I know there's a lot out there. And that's good. It's okay. I indulge in those same kinds of exercises.
I'm not touching that. No, I've read some juicy stuff. Juicy stuff, speculating on various sexual preferences. And number two.
I don't know how to ask my question now. My name's Candy, and I was wondering if both of you, I looked at the first episode going on to what I've seen most recently. To me, it looks like your characters are growing and changing. Do you agree, or do you think that it's just that you're seeing different facets you never saw before?
I agree. I've heard, speaking for Garrick, I definitely agree. I attribute that to the writing staff. Ira Bear, who I have unbounded admiration for. I was saying earlier, and when I was talking about Voyager earlier, I don't want to give the wrong impression. I don't believe in competition. I really believe that a strong Voyager show works redounds to the success of everyone. Just as a strong DS9 show redounds to the success, adds to the success of Voyager. And that if a show is weak, it hurts everyone. And only a show by being strong can help. And one of the criticisms, and I've been very upfront about this, about Voyager that I have, is that there is a certain amount of inherent drama that it lacks. A certain delineation of characters, so that there's, and what I mean by this specifically is that the dark side, the edgier sides of the characters on Voyager are not yet fully realized. The way I feel that they are being fully realized on DS9. I'm hoping that this is their third season, it's a generation, the third season they get going into DS9, the third season they get going, and I think the same is true for Voyager. It's going to take the third season for them to get on track. But only if they really find the darkness there, that internal conflict, the dynamic that they had, I thought, in the pilot. And I thought that there was a really natural, we were talking earlier, that there's a natural conflict between the Maquis and the Federation people there. The Prince Chakotay and Janeway. Now they turned, unfortunately, Chakotay into Janeway's puppy dog. Yes, man. And Robert Beltran is a wonderful actor. If you've ever seen the stage work, he's a very strong actor. And they're not using him the way that they should, simply because of that. Now, this is coming around to say that I do feel that Ira Bear does that with DS9, which is why I feel that Garrick is growing. Why Garrick, I love the darkness of Garrick. I love the fact that in one moment he can kill someone cold-bloodedly, and in the next moment he can seem like the most sympathetic, compassionate, pleasant companion at lunch. I mean, there is that unpredictability, and that's what I think this true mystery is. This mystery is not so much a historical mystery as it is the mystery at the core of its being, the soul.
I just wanted to say that yes, the writing is wonderful for this show. I think better than just about any television you see, really, because the writers get to really express themselves in paragraphs, which they don't do anymore on television.